Here, head coach Bobby Barbier. The Demons back in town for another weekend series, the second of back-to-back home weekends in the Southland. And coach, the way the Southland's been, it's so tight right now. You've got 5 teams sitting within a game of first place. With 3 weeks to go, do you remember it ever being this tight before?
No, not really. I think last year was pretty tight there at the end. I know we went into the last weekend with us and about 5 teams able to win it. Now we needed some things to happen, and obviously we didn't get to play that weekend. But there was also 4-game sets too. So you had an extra game in there to spread it out. It's just what an opportunity. What an opportunity we have to, have 6 of the final 9 games at home. We paid for that earlier. Having 9 of the first 12 on the road, but it just comes down to our guys just playing good baseball and to blocking out those things and those outside influence and anything that can take us away and out of just playing good baseball tomorrow night and having a good practice today are things that we don't need to concern ourselves with moving forward.
So definitely no scoreboard watching.
No, it's I got a feeling this thing's going to come down to the very end, so there's no reason to concern ourselves with it right now.
Well, you got, for the second straight midweek game, you got a lot of good momentum coming out of the back end of the bullpen. We've talked about how those guys, you wanted to see some competitive fire from them, and I think you saw that Tuesday night.
No doubt. I was going through yesterday looking at the strikes versus pitches, on all those guys. And they're all 75% strikes versus, strikes in their last outing. And that's something that we can build on. That's something that those guys, we talked about it before the game, that they're coming in and getting 1 or 2 out, 1 or 2 innings, and come dominate and compete really hard for that short period of time. And they did that. And maybe an adjustment that we need to make moving forward. When we're piecing together those things on the weekend. So thank goodness we've had really good starts on the weekend so far. So if those guys can contribute in the back end like they had the last 2 midweeks, and it become pretty hard to deal with on the mound.
Well, as you add that up, you're going to face a Southeastern team that is kind of going through at the moment what you went through a couple of weeks ago. This is their second straight week on the road. They had a tough series last weekend down at McNeese, so it's kind of the wounded animal theory that right now wounded animals is dangerous as anybody.
No doubt, and what everybody sees is the wins and the losses. When both games were in hand on Friday and Saturday, we're right there to be won. They could easily be coming out winning 2 or 3. Got walked off twice with a couple homers. So it's easy to look at those wins and losses, but it's important to look on how they're playing, and I think they're playing much better than they played earlier in the season. And you can see that from the 2 weekends before and some of their midweek performances. So they'll be here ready to play. Matt always has his team ready to play.
Is it kind of the same thing you feel like with your team starting to, as you get toward the end of the year, playing a little bit better, playing a little bit more consistently?
Yeah, I think so. We would. When I'm thinking like Sibley and his defense the other day, like things that have been kind of consistent most of the year. Would like to just add a few more things to that list. Our starting pitching has been consistent most of the year. At bats 1 through 9, regardless of who's on the mound, really taking something from that pitcher and making him work, especially early in the game. Would like to see that be a little more consistent, along with a few other things. So I think we still have time to work on that and to get that consistency as we move into postseason play.
Well, one thing that has been consistent has been the support from your home fans. And, of course, you mentioned it, 6 of the last 9 at home. You sit 1 game out of first place, and that's going to be the 10th man kind of down the stretch.
Yeah, we've had great crowds. The Cooking Club's been great. On the hill, we've had people on the hill. It's been a great, really good atmosphere for our guys to play in, and hopefully we can keep that up on the way out.
All right, appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.